Hey, it's your boy, Sergeant Hooked and Engine. Sorry about that. Right in the midst of getting over a little bit of a head cold, so I apologize. My voice sounds goofy. But today we're reviewing Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger episode 34. This is, of course, the Halloween episode. I've been very, very, very excited for this. I really love when Sentai does any holiday-themed episode, which usually is either Halloween or Christmas, which more Christmas than Halloween, but this is a really fun episode and pushed the plot forward in a lot of ways that I didn't think it was going to. Um, So episode starts off, and of course, like always, full spoilers going forward as far as the episode's considered. Please make sure you've watched it before watching this review. So anyway, what we get is the start of it is the Zenkaigers all getting dressed up for Halloween. You got Juran as a vampire, but like a Japanese vampire, like how they have vampires. Vroon as kind of a Frankenstein's monster. Gawan as, I think, a dog or something like that. And Majin as a little witch. All looking adorable in their costumes. Of course, Kaito has a big pumpkin on his head. And they're really excited about Halloween. And they're talking, doing their thing and everything. And getting ready for trick-or-treaters at the candy shop. And Yachan, actually, fun little point here. Yachan is actually dressed as Peter Pan, which is funny. And they linger on the shot for a second because back in the day in Japan, she actually played Peter Pan for quite a while on stage. So, nice little reference there. I kind of like that. Anyway, so they're getting rid of the trick-or-treaters. They come in and they just, like, ransack the place and leave. And they're, like, everybody's all, like, flipped over and look like they got their ass beat. Gawan's, like, upside down, stuck inside of a container trying to get out. And right before we get the credits, or the opening theme song, Seichan says, that was a little too rough. I think maybe Tojendo had something to do with it. Get the theme song, and of course, again, just as much as we get variations with the roll call, we get variations with the theme song as well, which I really have to give them credit for changing that up a little bit every time. So this time when it starts the da-na, 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 na, 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 it's the little music right there is backed up by like a bunch of little screams and spooky like ghost, goblin sounds. Kind of funny. Get to the opening, and they're trying to figure out what happened. Thinking there's a world monster, of course, and they find Halloween World. And he, his thing is he does this trick ray, hits somebody, and it puts a little pumpkin headband on him, but it makes him like really aggressive and want to wreck stuff. And so they're trying to stop him. It's really funny because throughout the whole episode, I really enjoy the attention to detail with Vroon trying to say, "Oh, I've looked up about this. You either get a sugary treat or some kind of a prank." As far as much as I know about it, I love Vroon so much. So anyway, they end up knocking a pumpkin off of Halloween World. At the same time, Hakaiser comes in. He's fighting them for a bit. Stacy's watching as well, and is starting to see that maybe it's possible that he should maybe team up with Hakaiser, that he sees how good of a team the Zenkaigers are. And actually, Kaito says it to him, says, "Oh, because part of the plot of the episode is finding the pumpkin that Halloween World lost, because when he loses the pumpkin, like, his powers go a little haywire, so people aren't as controlled as they were before." And so, Kaito finds Stacy and says to him, "Oh, are you looking for it too?" And he's like, "Hey," he's like, "Well, it might be easier if you were, if you're willing to work with a team." He's like, "Work with a team? What are you talking about?" And Stacy's being his normal, tsundere self about it. And he basically tells him that, if you were to trust some people and have some friends, you might be able to even one-up Brashitara. Isn't that your goal? And he's like, "Well, yeah, but I don't really want to work with anybody." And so he decides to eventually work with Hakaiser a little bit. So we go forward with the episode, and they're trying to find it, and they come up to Zox. They let him know, him and Flint, and so they help, except that Kaito draws a pumpkin and gives it to them, like what it looks like, and they're like, "Huh? What is this, some kind of cherry?" Because it's like a really bad drawing. So they basically go around, and it looks like they stole a bunch of them. Vroon's like, no, you can't steal. He's like, "Stop, we bought them." And it's kind of a nice change of pace that they've gone a little bit. They're like a little more relaxed on the whole thievery pirate thing, and they're willing to actually play by somewhat the rules. But they basically bought as many pumpkins as they can. They're going to destroy all of them, thinking that one of them has to be the one that Halloween World needs. Which is funny because it's kind of the same logic of them trying to get the Estitopia gear, is that one of them's got to be the right one, and destroy all the Tojidendo, and eventually you'll get that gear. So anyway, they're looking forward as well, and we get this really, really, really funny scene where Halloween World is hiding in this trash and like watching people, and he sees Zox and Flint go by, and he's like, oh, and he kind of like tries to hide himself. And he barely does anything. He like trashes all around him, but you can clearly see him. He's a giant monster, or not giant monster, but a monster. And he puts his hands in front of his face, and Zox and Flint walk by, and then they come back, and he's like, huh? And then it transitions right to them right in front of him, and he's like, ah! And he's like, oh, this must be Halloween World, right? And he's like, ah, ah! And he like backs up for them. And they kind of do this like Michael Myers Halloween thing where Zox is transforming, but when from the point of view of the monster, there's no music and it's just the little like cymbal noise. And he's in the background transforming, and Halloween World runs away. And then as he comes outside, Zox is in front of him, transformed. Hakaiser no power, and he's like, ah! And he runs away from him. I love this show. Yeah, so anyway, they eventually get to the point where Hakaiser and Sentai find 2 pumpkins that each of them I think are possibly one that Halloween World needs, and get it back to Halloween World. They do end up defeating Halloween World, but at the same time, Hakaiser talks about like, oh, you know, we can actually work pretty well together, and blah blah blah, and it shows a little flashback to before they left the Toji Tendo place, palace or whatever. He says, you know, hey, why are you working for Ijiroot or working with Ijiroot? And he's like, well, you know, I don't know, it's just kind of fun, and you know, I'm kind of having a good time with it, and plus I get a chance to fight those, you know, those Zenkaigers, and man, they're a pretty good team. So clearly hinting at some stuff. Again, before we get to the end of this, there's going to be some stuff at the end we're going to talk about. It's pretty big stuff, but we kind of have an idea of who Hakaiser really is, or who he's based on at least. So anyway, they use the Zenkai finale, you know, the Zenryoku Zenkai finale buster, banished into the Toei Ocean, goodbye. And Hakaiser goes to leave because his, you know, battery thing is low, but they stop him, the Kikanoids, they keep him there. And Zox and Kaito become Zenkaijuo to fight the world monster as a, you know, Kuden test. And they're doing their thing. And while that's happening, there's like a duo fight of the mecha fight happening, and the Zenkaigers fighting Hakaiser at the same time. And so they are holding them back, and they're like, oh, I really gotta go, I gotta get recharged. And like, no, and they keep stopping them and holding them back. I think Vroon uses the Bokenger gear to help for a little bit, does a cool like Bokenger attack. And they're doing their thing. At the same time, Zenkaijuo is fighting Halloween World, and it's using its powers with is basically all these like little Halloween decoration, little goofy ghost effects and stuff to like hold him back and stop him. And Seichan says, hey, the point of Halloween is to wear a costume to ward off spirits. Maybe if you had a costume, the powers wouldn't work on you. I love how it's always the most random solution to their problems, by the way. So like, huh, okay. And they grab like a random sheet off of something and put it on, and they're like, we're a ghost! And the decoration's like, oh, and they like fly away from them. So they destroy the monster, of course, but at the same time, they're still fighting Hakaiser, and he can't leave. It goes, beep, 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 you know, keeps beeping a bunch, his little, you know, low battery gauge, and finally goes off completely, and you see his helmet disappear. And from behind, you just see a head. Later on, we get to see who it is. They're like, is that really him? We get to see the Kikanoids talking about it. Kaito walks away for a minute after they confer, after they've destroyed the monster and everything. And they're like, well, should we tell Kaito who it was? He's like, maybe, but I don't know how we can. And it goes back to it and shows it from the front. It's Kaito's dad inside of Hakaiser's suit. So it's not made clear if it's his dad like melded into the suit and he's like forever stuck as a cyborg, or if they just used him as the basis for the suit to be around. My theory is that's what they're going to go for. They'll break him out of, because next episode is supposed to be him getting his helmet knocked off, or his helmet off again, and Kaito finally seeing him. I don't see the Zenkaigers again clearly, because next episode trying to keep it a secret from him. They're probably just like struggling with how to tell him because of it being a big deal. I mean, also, where is the mom? I'm kind of a little upset about that. Like, she totally escaped and then she just disappeared. I don't know what we're doing with that. But what I think might happen is that next episode he'll see that, because it showed Hakaiser and Sentai in some pictures, promo pictures, working together. So I think they're going to work together for a while. I think a combination of Sentai and Kaito is going to bring his dad out of it. And I think at some point his dad's going to just join the team, maybe with a repainted suit and a changer to turn into that suit to help, you know. I don't know if Stacy's fully going to join. My grandest of grandest fan theories is that this, like, next red that we're talking about for the next Sentai, which they put a thing out about it, by the way. Avataro Sentai Dawn Brothers. So we'll talk about that. That Stacy, and like as a character and the actor that plays him, of course, will be the one to be our Red in the next episode. Because if you think about it, it fits kind of the stuff. Somebody we've been introduced to already before, and that they were like a secondary starring role leading into like so we know who they are before they become the Red of the next team. So could be. I don't know for sure. They might not. That's okay. There's not many episodes left to introduce whoever this character is supposed to be that'll be the Red for the next team, if that rumor is correct. But yeah, so I see Hakaiser completely becoming in control by Kaito's dad, Isao, and coming back to the team and like maybe being able to still use that form or something like that. Or being able to like pilot it or something like that. I don't know. I don't think they're going to give up on that suit because it's a nice suit and it can be repainted really nicely. But yeah, overall it was a really, really fun episode. Probably coming off a high of me just having my first Halloween with my boys that they could go trick-or-treating. So that was probably part of it why I enjoyed it too, because it was themed that way. But I really enjoyed it. So I think I probably would give it a strong, probably a strong 9 out of 10. Only because I wish that the reveal for Hakaiser would have been a little bit earlier in the episode, so I have some more time to sit with that before, like, when it actually happened, you know? But still a really good episode that really pushed the plot forward, which is funny because normally goofy episodes like this that are themed after a holiday or something like that don't normally push the plot forward, but they can. I mean, look at X-Aid. I mean, you got the Christmas episode and that, spoilers. Spoilers, please skip if you haven't seen X-Aid. And a major character dies in that episode. So, overall, a fantastic episode. But let me know in the comments, what did you guys think of the episode? Did you enjoy the Halloween World episode? Did you not like it? Did you think different ways it could be better? What do you think about the reveal about Hakaiser? I know it's kind of something that people thought for a while, so it wasn't like a giant reveal, but it was still good they revealed it now. Also, let me know in the comments, how was your guys' Halloween? Maybe if you guys want to share pictures, I don't know if you can on YouTube comments, but if you want to share a link to pictures of your costume, or if you want to hit me up on Twitter, on Sergeant Hooked on Hensions on there, at Ryusoul Rider Red, Ryusoul Rider Red on there, and let me know. Yeah, and so yeah, I really appreciate you guys so much for watching the videos. Thanks for commenting, thanks for sharing and watching and liking, disliking, all that good stuff. Coming up soon, I'm gonna probably do a video, a short-ish video on Live Man, just kind of talking about my thoughts on it because I did recently finish that. And pretty soon, I'm hoping that some of my other stuff's going to be coming through from Toe Collectibles. They've been having some shipment problems, which isn't their fault. It's mainly stuff from Japan and their rules about what they can ship out and everything, production problems. But some stuff coming soon, so hopefully some more Toku Toy views. Yeah, and probably some more Digimon Ghost Game stuff, maybe, if you guys are interested in that. I do know after this week that Superhero Time will be off for 2 weeks, I think, because of the golf stuff that always happens. So that kind of sucks. But if there's anything in the meantime you guys want me to review, if there's like maybe some Toku-related stuff you want me to, if you guys want me to watch through High School Heroes and give you my thoughts on that, if you guys have like maybe anything else related Toku-wise or whatever that you'd like me to review and talk about, I'd definitely be willing to do that. But I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay hooked on Henshins. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye!